welcome to Rockingham for rounds 22, 23 and 24 of the BTCC. Today we're going to go up the pit lane and talk about how the teams have got on. So we're going to start here with the Proton team with Dan Welsh and Ollie Jackson. Had a bit of problems, stuff to do with their engines as well. So they finished right down the order in 29th and 30th. Chris Stockton over there. Chris Stockton qualified P28, and he's very recently now started to get a bit more consistent, as he is not having problems, as so to speak. Next up here, this is Lee Wood's garage. Lee Wood qualified P22, which is about where we've seen him all year long, so he's been very consistent in qualifying. Outside the Rotec garage as well, Rob Holland qualified P24, but bearing in mind his recent form, I think he would hope of to be further up the grid. Now outside the laser garage with Aidan Moffat, the driver, qualified P21. Again, very consistent, but he, I think, would be hoping to be somewhere in the teens. Now outside United Autosports had a bit of a problem in qualifying with Glynn-Geddy. Glynn-Geddy stopped on track. I think that might have been an electrical failure, but that's just a thought. James Cole qualified P23, and despite Glynn-Geddy's stoppage throughout the session, he finished P25. Now we come outside the AMD tuning garage with Dave Newsham. Dave Newsham qualified P20, but yet again I would expect with the form of the other Fords, which we'll get to in a bit, I think he would have wanted to be a little bit further up the grid. Coming up to Speedworks now with Tom Ingram and Simon Belcher. Tom Ingram qualified P12, but considering how he got on last year in the Ginettos, a pole and 2 wins, I don't think he'll be very happy with 12th, and Simon Belcher 27th, where we've seen him pretty much all season long. Now outside the garage of Rob Austin Racing. Rob Austin Racing, Rob qualified P13, but they can see Rob Austin's car. But unfortunately, Hunter Abbott had a bit of a problem, which means that he unfortunately had to retire from qualifying, which meant that he, in the end, finished, 31st. And Rob, you'll obviously remember he won a race last year, and he looked competitive last time out and not kills. So he might just be able to come back and finish towards the front of the grid in race 2 and 3. We are now outside the Wicks Racing garage of Adam Morgan. Adam Morgan qualified 6th on the grid. 6th on the grid for Adam, which, bearing in mind, this is the first time the Mercedes has been here, and it looks like it will be a track that will suit the Mercedes car. I'm guessing he would be pretty pleased. Now outside Team BMR. Team BMR, mixed results. You can see this is Warren Scott and Jack Goff side the garage. Warren Scott, whose car you can see on the left hand side, he qualified P18, and Jack Goff's, who you saw just there on the right hand side, he qualified P17. Aaron Smith who you can see again on the right hand side of your screen, is currently P14 on the grid for race 1 tomorrow, and Alain Menu starts P8, who you saw on the left hand side of your screen. Now come outside Pertek's garage. Pertek racing with Andrew Jordan and Martin Depper. Martin Depper qualified P26, which is a bit lower than we would have expected. And here's Warren Scott now. Warren, P18 in qualifying. Were you happy with that?
Surprisingly, I was actually. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed when I saw the lap times, but when I finished and saw what everyone else was doing, I didn't feel so bad. It's slower. The track isn't as good as last year, I don't think, or isn't as much grip as last year. So yeah, anywhere in the top 20, you know, I'm happy. I just thought I could actually go quicker, but we'll see tomorrow.
Now, tyre wear is going to be a big point for the races tomorrow. The soft tyre is going to be, well, nearly impossible to finish a race.
I hope not, because I'm on them in the first race. So we're going to change a little bit of the setup, try and make the car a bit kinder on them. But yeah, tyres on the front wheel drives are going to be terrible. We've just got to manage that and hopefully be stronger at the end of the race if we can manage them early on.
Okay, thank you very much, Warren. There's a very happy Warren Scott there. Pertek Racing. Martin Depper 26, which is a bit lower than where we and especially him would have expected to be. Andrew Jordan as well, P5. He was running very good in both practice sessions, so P5. He's now in the state of the championship now, where he's really got to attack every single race and get as many wins, well, basically win every single race that he has got left, so it should be interesting to see his attack. We're now outside the Krabbies racing team with Jack Clark. Jack Clark P19, also in a Ford Focus. Well, it's qualifying wise where we've expected him to be. Race wise though, he seems to be a little bit more better in the races, so he seems to be picking up more positions in the races than in the qualifying. Outside Airways Racing now, Fabrizio Giovanardi and Matt Jackson, the two drivers. Fabrizio Giovanardi qualified P11, as you just see Fabrizio there, and Matt Jackson P10. Both of them in their Ford Focuses. Fabrizio was actually a bit surprised about the fact that the quicker lap times came at the start of the session, not towards the end. Now outside the eBay Motors WSR, with Colin Turkington, Rob Collin, Nick Foster. Well, Colin Turkington, as usual, right near the top. He was P2 and was one of the only drivers who actually improved towards the end of the session. But Rob Collard and Nick Foster seem to struggle. Nick Foster is going to start 15th and Rob Collard is going to start 16th. Nick Foster, you can see his car there. Nick Foster struggling to find out where he lost all of his time, he said, as he was 5 tenths down to his lap time last year, and he's been so much quicker than last year, this year. We're now going up to garages of KX and Quantel Biffold, all run by 888. Mark Hines for Quantel Biffold, P7, which is a very, very good result for him. And he's been getting better and better as the weekends go on, and now the car sort of seems to suit him. It looks like he will be further up the grid. Jason Plato and Sam Torloff, the other two drivers. Sam Torloff, P1 on the grid. He was half a second quicker than anybody else, which is very good actually. Jason Plato qualified P3. He was P2 for so long, and then, as I said, Colin Turkington, one of the only people to improve towards the end of the session, just pipped him towards the end. However, with Colin Turkington carrying maximum ballast, Jason might just have a look in the races tomorrow for a MG12 at the end of race 1. And finally we're outside the Honda garages. Honda Yuasa Racing, Matt Neal P9, and Gordon Shedden P4, which yet again puts him in a good position to mount his championship comeback, so to speak, to Colin Turkington. That's it for Rockingham's Lose Pit Lane review. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.